Look at the clock on your wall, or on your phone, or on the corner of your screen. That relentless, rhythmic pulse. Tick, tock. Every single tick is a piece of your one and only life that you will never, ever get back. It's gone forever. So let me ask you a question, a real question. Are you spending that precious, non-refundable currency, or are you investing it? Because there is a universe of difference between the two. Welcome to Audiobook Bites, the channel where we decode the master blueprints for a life of purpose and achievement. If you are serious, truly serious about reclaiming your time and redesigning your future, then do 3 things for me right now. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Do it now, because the 10 rules I'm about to share with you aren't just tips. They are the fundamental laws of time mastery. This is the time code, and it will redefine your relationship with every minute of your day, forever. You see, the defining difference between the CEO of a Fortune 500 company staring out from a skyscraper in Manhattan and someone who feels stuck watching their dreams gather dust isn't raw talent. It's not luck. It's not inherited genius. It is discipline. It's a system. It's understanding that time is not a passive river that carries you along. It is a wild horse that you must break, tame, and command. The most successful people on this planet, from the tech titans of Silicon Valley to the master artists in their secluded studios, operate on a different timeline. They adhere to a code, and today I'm giving you the keys to that very code. Are you ready to stop being a passenger and become the architect? Good. Let's begin. Rule number 1. Conquer tomorrow, tonight. This is the cornerstone, the foundation upon which every single productive day is built. The amateur wakes up and asks, "What should I do today?" The professional wakes up and says, "Let's execute the plan." The battle for your tomorrow is won or lost in the 10 to 15 minutes you carve out before you go to sleep tonight. Think of a championship-winning quarterback in the NFL. Does he just show up on Sunday and hope for the best? Of course not. The night before the big game, he's in a dark room, obsessively studying game film. He's analyzing the opponent's defenses, memorizing his routes, visualizing every possible scenario until the entire game plan is burned into his subconscious. He knows exactly what he needs to do when the pressure is on. That is what you must become, the quarterback of your own life. Tonight, before your head hits the pillow, before you surrender to the mindless scroll of social media, take out a simple notebook or open a blank document. Write down tomorrow's date at the top. Then ask yourself the most critical question in time management. If I could only accomplish one single thing tomorrow to make it a massive success, what would it be? This is your most important task, your MIT. It could be finishing that critical proposal for a client. It could be writing the first 1,000 words of your novel. It could be having that difficult but necessary conversation with a team member. Whatever it is, it should be the task that creates the most significant forward momentum toward your biggest goals. Write it down. Circle it. Underline it. That is your non-negotiable mission for tomorrow. Below that, list the 3 to 5 other smaller, supporting tasks you need to complete. Pay bills. Answer critical emails. Make that doctor's appointment. By doing this, you are externalizing your plans from the chaotic, emotional landscape of your morning brain to the cold, hard logic of paper. When you wake up, there is no decision fatigue. There is no confusion. There is no wasted energy spent on figuring out where to start. You have a flight plan. Your day is pre-decided. You wake up with clarity, with intention, with power. The average person lives in a state of constant reaction. their day dictated by the whims of their inbox and the demands of others. The master of their time lives a life of intention. They don't react, they act. They don't drift, they drive. Your journey to the top 1% of productivity doesn't start with a fancy app or an expensive planner. It starts with a simple, unbreakable nightly ritual. It starts tonight. Conquer your tomorrow before it even has a chance to begin. That is the first rule of the code. Rule number 2. Own your morning, own your life. There is a sacred, almost magical quality to the early hours of the day. From roughly 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., the world is quiet. The endless barrage of notifications has not yet begun. The demands of your boss, your clients, your family are still slumbering. In this precious, silent window, your mind is at its absolute peak. Your willpower is a full reservoir, not yet depleted by the 1,000 tiny decisions of the day. Your creativity is fresh, untainted by the noise of the world. This is your prime time. To waste these golden hours on trivialities, on hitting the snooze button, on scrolling through the curated lives of others, on reacting to overnight emails, is the single greatest productivity crime you can commit. Think of a writer, huddled in a small apartment in Brooklyn. The city that never sleeps is, for a few hours, holding its breath. Below, the distant rumble of the first subway train is a faint promise of the chaos to come. But in this moment, in the soft glow of a single lamp, the writer is not a part of that chaos. They are separate from it. They are in a state of pure creation, their fingers flying across the keyboard, building worlds, crafting characters, doing the one thing that truly matters to their soul. By the time the rest of the city is rubbing the sleep from its eyes and complaining about the morning commute, our writer has already laid down 1,000 words of their masterpiece. They have already won the day. This is the principle of deep work in its purest form. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's a skill that is becoming increasingly rare in our hyper-distracted world, and therefore increasingly valuable. Your most important work, that one MIT you identified the night before, requires the best of you. It demands your full, undivided attention. And the best of you is available in the morning. To squander that peak mental state on low-value, shallow tasks is like using a Formula One race car to go grocery shopping. It's a tragic waste of potential. Your challenge is to fiercely protect this morning block. Treat it as the most important meeting of your day, a meeting with your own ambition. This might mean going to bed earlier. It will certainly mean putting your phone in another room so you aren't tempted to start your day in a reactive mode. It means creating a routine. Wake up, hydrate, maybe some light exercise or meditation to clear your head. And then, without exception, you attack your most important task. No email, no social media, no news, just you and the work. Even if it's just for 60 minutes. 60 minutes of pure, uninterrupted focus every morning will produce more significant results over a year than 10 hours of fragmented, distracted work on a weekend. The momentum you build in that first hour creates a psychological ripple effect that carries you through the rest of the day. You start the day with a victory, and it wires your brain to seek more victories. So, stop giving the best of yourself to the trivial. Stop starting your day on the defensive. Rise before the world demands anything of you, and give the freshest, sharpest version of your mind to the dreams that matter most. Own your morning, and you will inevitably own your life. Rule number 3. Curate your inner circle. This is a truth that might be hard to hear, but it is absolutely essential for your growth. The people you surround yourself with are either lifting you up or they are dragging you down. There is no neutral ground. The motivational speaker Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." I want you to pause and really think about that. Make a mental list of the 5 people you interact with most frequently. Now, be brutally honest with yourself. Are these people talking about ideas, opportunities, and growth? Or are they talking about other people, complaining about their circumstances, and wallowing in negativity? Do they challenge you to be better? Or do they comfort you in your mediocrity? The conversations you have, the attitudes you absorb, the mindsets you are exposed to, these things seep into your subconscious and shape your reality. Spending time with people who are cynical, uninspired, and constantly complaining is like trying to swim with an anchor tied to your ankle. You can be the most optimistic, driven person in the world, but their constant gravitational pull of negativity will eventually exhaust you. They are energy vampires, and they will drain your most precious resource, your drive. This isn't about being arrogant or cutting off lifelong friends without a thought. It's about being a ruthless curator of your own mental and emotional environment. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are finite, and you must invest them wisely. Think of it like a garden. To grow beautiful, healthy plants, you must diligently pull the weeds. The weeds aren't evil. They're just growing in the wrong place. They are choking the life out of the things you actually want to cultivate. In the American culture of networking, we're often told that more is better. Go to every event, collect every business card. But the code dictates that quality trumps quantity every single time. It is far better to have one 10-minute conversation with a mentor who stretches your mind than to spend 3 hours at a cocktail party making small talk with people who deplete your spirit. You need to actively seek out people who are playing the game at a higher level than you are. Find mentors, join mastermind groups, connect with people who embody the qualities you wish to cultivate. Today, with technology, this is easier than ever. You can spend time with the greatest minds in the world by reading their books, listening to their podcasts, and watching their interviews. Deliberately replace the time you might spend listening to a friend complain about their job with a podcast about building a side hustle. Instead of a lunch filled with office gossip, take a walk and listen to an audiobook by a stoic philosopher. This isn't about abandoning people in their time of need. It's about setting boundaries. It's about strategically reducing your exposure to chronic negativity so that you have the strength and clarity to pursue your own goals and, in turn, be a stronger person for those who truly need you. Your inner circle is your personal board of directors. Choose them wisely. They are either your greatest asset or your heaviest liability. The choice is yours. Rule number 4. The screen time audit. Let's talk about the most pervasive, insidious time thief of the 21st century. That glowing rectangle in your pocket. Your smartphone. It is a tool of immense power, a gateway to all human knowledge. But for most, it has become a weapon of mass distraction, a digital pacifier that numbs ambition and devours dreams. I want you to perform a simple and potentially horrifying experiment. Right now, or as soon as this is over, pick up your phone. Go to your settings and find the Screen Time or Digital Well-Being feature. Look at the number. Look at the daily average. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Now, look at the breakdown. How much of that time was spent on activities that genuinely improved your life, your skills, or your happiness? And how much of it was spent in the hypnotic, endless scroll of TikTok, Instagram Reels, and Facebook? Be honest. That number represents a black hole in your life. It is the void where your ambitions go to die. Let's do the math. An average of just 2 hours of wasted screen time per day is 14 hours a week. That's over 60 hours a month. That is the equivalent of a full-time job and a half every single month, dedicated to what? To consuming algorithmically curated content that provides fleeting dopamine hits and leaves you feeling empty and inadequate. Imagine what you could do with an extra 60 hours a month. You could write a book. You could build a thriving side business from scratch. You could become proficient in a new language. You could get into the best physical shape of your life. The opportunity cost of mindless scrolling is staggering. It is the ghost of the person you could have become. The first step to fixing a problem is acknowledging it. That screen time report is your diagnosis. Now, it's time for the treatment. You must become a ruthless digital minimalist. This doesn't mean throwing your phone into a river. It means transforming it from a master into a servant. Go through your apps and delete everything that doesn't provide real, tangible value to your life. Be brutal. Do you really need 5 different social media apps? Turn off all non-essential notifications. Every buzz, every ping is a tiny tear in the fabric of your focus. Schedule your screen time like you would schedule a meeting. Give yourself a 15-minute block in the afternoon to catch up on social media, set a timer, and when it goes off, you get out. The most powerful strategy, however, is replacement. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you simply try to stop scrolling, your brain's craving for stimulus will pull you back in. You must replace the bad habit with a good one. When you feel the urge to check your phone, pick up your Kindle and read 2 pages of a book instead. When you're waiting in line, instead of scrolling, listen to a 5-minute educational podcast. Replace 30 minutes of Netflix before bed with 30 minutes of journaling about your day or planning for tomorrow. You are not just eliminating a time waster. You are investing that reclaimed time into your own growth. You are turning dead time into lifetime. So conduct your audit. Face the brutal truth. And then declare war on digital distraction. Your future self will thank you for it. Rule number 5. Schedule solitude. In the relentless hustle and grind of modern American life, silence has become a forgotten luxury. Our days are a constant cacophony of noise: emails, meetings, podcasts, playlists, notifications, chatter. We are so terrified of being alone with our own thoughts that we fill every spare moment with external stimuli. We listen to podcasts while we work out, watch TV while we eat, and scroll through our phones right up until the moment we fall asleep. This constant state of cognitive overload is destroying our ability to think clearly. We are becoming a society of reactors, not thinkers. Solitude, true, uninterrupted solitude, is not about being lonely or unproductive. It is a strategic weapon. It is the crucible in which clarity is forged and brilliant ideas are born. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history, from Newton's laws of motion to Einstein's theory of relativity, were conceived in moments of quiet contemplation. Top-tier CEOs like Bill Gates are famous for their Think Weeks, where they escape for 7 days with nothing but books and notepads to simply think about the future of their company and the world. You may not have a week to spare, but you absolutely have 15 minutes. You must schedule solitude into your day with the same seriousness you would schedule a meeting with your most important client. This is a non-negotiable appointment with your own mind. Find a time and a place where you can be truly alone and undisturbed. This could be a walk in a park without your headphones. It could be sitting in a quiet room in your house with a cup of coffee. It could even be just sitting in your parked car for 10 minutes before you walk into the office. During this time, the goal is not to do anything. The goal is to simply be. Let your mind wander. Don't try to force solutions. Just observe your thoughts. What problems are circling in your head? What opportunities are you overlooking? What is your intuition trying to tell you? In the beginning, this will feel incredibly uncomfortable. Your brain, addicted to constant stimulation, will scream for a distraction. You'll feel an almost irresistible urge to grab your phone. Resist it. Sit with the silence. This is where the magic happens. By giving your brain the space to breathe, you allow it to make connections it can't make when it's constantly processing new information. You'll find that solutions to complex problems bubble up to the surface. You'll gain clarity on your priorities. You'll make better, more deliberate decisions instead of impulsive, reactive ones. This daily practice of scheduled solitude is like a mental reset button. It clears the clutter. It sharpens your judgment. It reconnects you with your own values and your deepest goals. In a world that glorifies being busy, choosing to be still is a radical act of self-preservation and a profound competitive advantage. Stop running from your own thoughts. Schedule an appointment with them. The insights you gain in those quiet moments will be worth more than hours of frantic, unfocused activity. Rule number 6. The power of a hard deadline. There is a profound and fascinating principle known as Parkinson's Law, which states, "Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion." It is one of the most fundamental laws of productivity, and it governs more of your life than you realize. If you give yourself a week to complete a 2-hour task, that task will magically increase in complexity, stress, and perceived difficulty until it fills the entire week. You'll procrastinate, you'll overthink it, you'll do unnecessary research, and your anxiety will build until you finally rush to complete it in the last few hours before it's due. Sound familiar? Now, imagine you are given the exact same 2-hour task, but you are told you have only 90 minutes to complete it. What happens? A switch flips in your brain. Suddenly, there is no time for procrastination. There is no room for perfectionism. Your mind achieves a state of laser focus. You become ruthlessly efficient. You identify the absolute essential steps and execute them with precision. You don't get distracted by your email or the urge to check social media. You enter a state of flow, and more often than not, you produce a result that is just as good, if not better, than the one that took you a week. This is the power of a hard, self-imposed deadline. Deadlines are not your enemy. They are your greatest ally in the war against procrastination. The absence of a deadline is a recipe for perpetual delay. Goals without deadlines are just dreams. They are wishes that float in the ether of someday. Someday, I'll start that business. Someday, I'll get in shape. Someday, I'll write that book. Someday is a disease, and the antidote is a deadline. You must become your own demanding boss. For every single task on your to-do list, from the massive project to the minor errand, you must assign it a specific and slightly aggressive completion time. Don't just write "work on presentation." Write "complete first draft of presentation slides by 11 a.m." Don't say "clean the garage." Say "spend 45 minutes decluttering the garage, starting at 2 p.m. on Saturday." Using a timer is a game changer. The famous Pomodoro technique, working in focused 25-minute intervals with a short break in between, is effective precisely because it utilizes the power of a short, imminent deadline. The ticking clock creates a sense of urgency and forces your brain to stay on task. This principle applies to your biggest life goals as well. A vague goal like, "I want to save more money," is useless. A powerful goal is, "I will save $5,000 for a down payment by December 31st of this year." Now you have a target and a timeline. You can reverse engineer the process. You know exactly how much you need to save each month, each week, each day. It becomes real, tangible, and actionable. Stop giving yourself endless runways. Stop treating time as an infinite resource. It is the scarcest commodity you possess. Constrain it. Challenge yourself. Manufacture urgency. You will be astonished at what you can accomplish when you simply don't give yourself the option to delay. Set hard deadlines and watch your productivity explode. Rule number 7. Fuel the engine. Let's imagine for a moment that you were given a world-class, multi-million-dollar race car, a masterpiece of engineering capable of incredible speed and performance. And let's say the only rule is that you get just this one car for your entire life. How would you treat it? You would give it the highest quality fuel. You would perform meticulous, regular maintenance. You would protect it from harm. You would never dream of pouring soda into the gas tank or letting the engine oil run dry. Now, here's the reality. You have been given a vehicle far more complex, valuable, and miraculous than any race car ever built. It's your body. And you only get one for your entire life. Yet, how do most people treat it? They pour junk food into the fuel tank. They deprive it of essential maintenance through lack of exercise. They run the engine ragged on fumes by skimping on sleep. And then they wonder why they lack the energy, focus, and drive to achieve their goals. This is a critical, non-negotiable rule of the time code. Your physical energy is the fundamental currency of high performance. All the time, management techniques in the world are utterly useless if you don't have the raw energy to execute them. You can have the most perfectly planned day, but if you're running on 4 hours of sleep and a breakfast of sugar and caffeine, your brain will be operating at a fraction of its capacity. Your focus will be shattered, your willpower will be non-existent, and your productivity will plummet. Investing time in your health is not a luxury. It is not something you do if you have time. It is a prerequisite for success. It is the ultimate productivity strategy. It has to be a non-negotiable part of your schedule. This means planning your meals. The trend of meal prepping on a Sunday isn't just about saving time during the week. It's about ensuring your body and brain get the high-quality nutrients they need to perform optimally. It's about avoiding the afternoon crash that comes from a carb-heavy processed lunch. It means scheduling your workouts. You don't find time to exercise. You make time. Block it out in your calendar like you would a critical business meeting. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, can deliver incredible benefits in just 20 to 30 minutes. A brisk walk during your lunch break can clear your head and boost your energy. Find what works for you and commit to it. And most importantly, it means prioritizing sleep. We live in a hustle culture that romanticizes sleep deprivation, wearing it as a badge of honor. This is pure insanity. Sleep is not a passive state of inactivity. It is an active process of mental and physical restoration. It is during sleep that your brain consolidates memories, clears out metabolic waste, and recharges your willpower. Consistently getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep will do more for your daytime productivity than any hack you can find. Your body is not your enemy. It is your greatest asset. Your mind is not separate from your body. It is a part of it. When you fuel your body correctly, when you move it regularly, when you give it the rest it needs to recover, you are not taking time away from your work. You are creating the very energy required to do that work at an elite level. Stop seeing health as a separate category from your ambition. They are inextricably linked. Fuel the engine, and it will take you wherever you want to go. Rule number 8. The weekly wins. Big, audacious goals are inspiring. I want to build $1 million company. I want to become a best-selling author. I want to achieve financial freedom. These marathon goals are important for setting a direction, for giving you a North Star to aim for. But their sheer scale can also be paralyzing. The distance between where you are today and the summit of that mountain can feel so vast that it's easy to lose motivation and give up before you've even taken the first few steps. The secret of the world's most effective people is that they don't just focus on the marathon. They focus on winning the next mile. They break down their monumental goals into a series of weekly sprints. This concept is borrowed from the Agile and Scrum methodologies used by the most innovative tech companies in Silicon Valley to build complex software. Instead of trying to build the entire application at once, which could take years, they work in short 1- or 2-week sprints. At the beginning of each sprint, the team decides on a small, specific, and valuable chunk of the project they can complete in that time frame. At the end of the sprint, they have a tangible piece of finished work. This creates a powerful and addictive feedback loop of progress. You must adopt this same sprint mentality for your life. At the beginning of each week, perhaps on a Sunday evening, sit down and look at your big goals. Then ask yourself, what are the 1 or 2 most important things I can accomplish this week that will move me closer to those goals? These are your weekly wins. They must be specific and measurable. A week goal is work on my business idea. A strong weekly win is complete the competitive analysis for my business plan and create a 1-page executive summary. A week goal is get healthier. A strong weekly win is go to the gym 3 times this week and meal prep my lunches for all 5 workdays. By focusing on just a few key wins for the week, you bring clarity and focus to your efforts. You're no longer staring at the entire mountain. You're just focused on the next campsite. This approach does several brilliant things for your psychology. First, it makes your goals feel achievable, which dramatically reduces the likelihood of procrastination. Second, it creates momentum. Every Sunday, when you look back and see that you accomplished your weekly wins, you get a powerful sense of progress and accomplishment. This builds confidence and fuels your motivation for the next week's sprint. You start to see yourself as someone who gets things done, someone who executes. You are building an identity of success, 1 week at a time. This system of weekly wins transforms you from a dreamer into a doer. It turns vague aspirations into a concrete, week-by-week action plan. Stop being overwhelmed by the size of your ambitions. Break them down. What is the most important inch you can move forward this week? Define your weekly wins, hunt them down with relentless focus, and then stack those wins one on top of the other. That is how you build an empire. That is how you reach the summit. Rule number 9, the failure debrief. In our society, failure is often seen as a final verdict. It's an endpoint, a reason to quit, a source of shame. This mindset is a prison. It keeps you from taking the necessary risks required for any significant achievement. The most successful individuals and organizations have a radically different relationship with failure. They don't see it as a verdict. They see it as data. They see it as an invaluable and often painful tuition payment for the school of success. The U.S. military, after every single mission, conducts a process called an after-action review, AAR. It doesn't matter if the mission was a roaring success or a catastrophic failure. They gather the team and ask 4 simple but profound questions. What was supposed to happen? What actually happened? Why was there a difference? And what can we learn from it to improve next time? There is no finger-pointing. There is no blame. It is a dispassionate, objective process designed for one purpose and one purpose only: learning and improvement. This exact process is used by top corporations, elite sports teams, and high-achieving individuals across the world. You must adopt it for your own life. You must become a master of the personal failure debrief. When you miss a deadline, when a project fails, when you don't get the result you wanted, it is natural to feel disappointment or frustration. Allow yourself that feeling for a moment, but then you must pivot from emotion to analysis. Take out a journal and conduct your own AAR. Write down what your goal was. Describe what actually transpired. Then, dig deep into the why. Why did you procrastinate on that task? Was it because you were afraid of failing? Was it because the instructions weren't clear? Why did that sales pitch not land? Did you not do enough research on the client? Did you not communicate the value proposition clearly? Be brutally honest with yourself, but not judgmental. You are not trying to beat yourself up. You are trying to extract a lesson. The final and most crucial step is to identify the actionable lesson. What will you do differently next time? I will break down large tasks into smaller, 30-minute chunks to avoid feeling overwhelmed. I will spend an extra hour researching a potential client before every pitch. I will set an alarm on my phone to remind me to leave for my appointments 15 minutes earlier. This process transforms failure from a dead end into a stepping stone. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. It builds self-awareness, which is the foundation of all personal growth. The person who is afraid to fail will only ever attempt things they are certain they can achieve, which means they will never grow beyond their current limitations. The person who embraces failure as a learning opportunity has no limits. They will try, fail, learn, adapt, and try again, getting stronger, smarter, and more resilient with each cycle. So, stop fearing failure. Start debriefing it. Your mistakes contain the very blueprints for your future success. You just have to have the courage to read them. Rule number 10. Protect your evenings. How you end your day determines how you begin the next one. Just as owning your morning is critical for a proactive start, protecting your evening is essential for recovery, restoration, and setting the stage for peak performance. We live in a culture that blurs the lines between work and life. Thanks to technology, work can follow us home, into our living rooms, and even into our bedrooms. The urge to check email one last time, to take one more call, to squeeze in just a little more work is a powerful temptation. But this is a fool's bargain. By refusing to create a hard stop to your workday, you deny your brain the essential downtime it needs to recharge. You end up in a state of chronic, low-grade stress, never truly working and never truly resting. Your evening is not a spillover container for your workday. It is a dedicated time for strategic disconnection. You must create a shutdown ritual that clearly signals to your brain that the workday is over. This could be as simple as closing your laptop, tidying your desk, and saying a specific phrase out loud like, "Work is complete for the day." This simple act creates a psychological boundary. After this ritual, you are officially off the clock. No more work email. No more work-related problem-solving. Your brain is now free to downshift. What you do in the hours that follow is just as important. The goal is to transition from a state of high-alert engagement to one of calm and relaxation. This means reducing your exposure to stimulating inputs, especially blue light from screens, which is known to disrupt the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. An hour or two before bed, put your phone, tablet, and laptop away. And put them away in another room, not on your nightstand. Instead, engage in activities that calm your nervous system. Read a physical book. Fiction is often best for escapism. Listen to calming music. Take a warm bath. Meditate. Have a light conversation with your partner or family. Journal about your day, expressing gratitude for what went well and processing what didn't. This evening ritual is not about laziness. It is a critical component of a high-performance lifestyle. It allows your mind to process the day's events and your body to prepare for deep, restorative sleep. When you protect your evenings, you ensure that you wake up the next morning not just rested, but truly rejuvenated. You wake up with a full reservoir of mental energy, ready to attack your most important task with clarity and focus. The person who works late into the night and scrolls through their phone until they pass out is borrowing energy from tomorrow. They are starting the next day already in a deficit. The person who protects their evening is making an investment in tomorrow's success. So, define your finish line for each day, create your shutdown ritual, and design an evening routine that prioritizes rest and recovery over mindless distraction. The way you close your day is the prologue to tomorrow's story. Make it a powerful one. So there you have it. The time code. 10 rules that are simple to understand, but which require immense discipline to implement. Let's recap them one last time. 1. Conquer tomorrow, tonight. 2. Own your morning, own your life. 3. Curate your inner circle. 4. Conduct the screen time audit. 5. Schedule solitude. 6. Embrace the power of a hard deadline. 7. Fuel the engine. 8. Chase the weekly wins. 9. Master the failure debrief. And 10. Protect your evenings. This isn't just a list of tips. This is a system for living. It's a manifesto for taking back control from the chaos of the modern world. Time is the one currency you can't earn more of, the one asset that is distributed to everyone equally, from the billionaire to the beggar. 1,440 minutes in a day. That's all you get. Stop letting that time manage you. Stop letting it slip through your fingers like sand. Become the architect of your days, the master of your minutes. The code has been given to you. The blueprint is in your hands. Now, the only question that remains is, what will you build with it? The clock is ticking. It's time to execute. Thank you for joining us at Audiobook Bites. If this code resonated with you, leave a comment below and tell us which rule you are going to implement first. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more content designed to unlock your full potential. Now go, win your day.